Now time for me to call upon a technology practitioner. It is a pleasure to call Manish Agarwal. Manish is the Enterprise Infrastructure Services Leader for North and Eastern India, and he works for IBM in India. So please welcome Manish.
Changing the slides. Changing the slides. Okay. Right. This. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Myself, Manish Agrawal, on behalf of IBM, extends a very warm welcome to you all. I am Regional Manager, North and East India for Enterprise Infrastructure Services business. And what I am going to talk about today is part of my product portfolio. So, just a brief agenda. What I'm going to talk about is industry background and the challenges which education leaders of today are facing. A brief on technology trends where IBM has a play, and how IBM is helping the education sector in terms of overcoming the technology and other related challenges. Now, before I start my presentation, education is all about learning, and probably it is as old as the mankind. Just a flashback, thousands of years of back, in ancient India, you have those gurukuls and vidyalayas where teachers used to impart training and skills and education to a group of the students. So nothing changed for thousands of years. For centuries, the methodology adopted for teaching remained the same. It was still face-to-face learning. It was still probably a century or probably, 5, 6 centuries back, concept of libraries become prevalent. So the methodology was face-to-face and offline content learning. So, we ourselves, a decade back or 2 decades back when we were in universities, we used to go back to the libraries to read content. We used to refer newspapers, we used to refer books, and obviously our teachers, what they used to teach us. So with this background, currently, it all changed. It all changed in probably a decade, in probably 2 decades' time with the advent of internet, with the advent and adoption of technologies, and particularly with social networking and social digital content, plethora of digital content getting inside the internet. So, considering all these factors into mind, every education leaders has to see that how he could, impart the academic reasoning and collaboration skills so that today's students, they can thrive in a global economy. So while face-to-face learning methodologies is still effective, it may not be adequate for making the students, thrive in a global economy. So besides this, gain insight into factors that affect students' performance to improve outcomes and invest where it will make the biggest difference, increase administrative efficiencies, and create safe and secure campuses. So this is, a brief on the industry background, and the challenges which are now getting into it is there is a, huge amount of expectation among the student community, among the students, because they are globally exposed. They are exposed to YouTube, they are exposed to Twitter, they are exposed to multiple, and whereas there is a higher expectations on academic excellence, the budget constraints are always there. So to strike a balance, then current generation of learners has grown up with YouTube, with Facebook, with Twitter, LinkedIn, so and other Web 2.0 technologies. So how to engage them, how to engage them best? And various studies have shown that if we are able to, adopt these technologies during the teaching, the outcome is much more better. So how to engage them is also one of the biggest challenges. Now, employers competing in global economy needs a workforce. Employers like IBM, when we hire, an individual, we look for workforce who are adept in collaboration, who are adept in using such tools. So it is very important that present generation is, adept in adopting such tools. And then obviously there are budget issues and video and collaboration. So these are a few of the challenges in industry background. And then we'll come to technology trends. Blended learning. So blended learning, along with the face-to-face and offline content learning, you blend real-time audio-video faculty interaction. So that is blended learning. So you have a teacher, you have a faculty sitting in University of Chicago imparting, education to a student in Delhi. And it's interactive, it's both ways. Then you have wireless and mobility. Wireless and mobility is again very interesting. I need not much stress on this, but the important point here is that with the wireless and mobility, you have, malware and virus threats. So all the threats, cyber security becomes a big issue. And also, policy decisions also become very important here. Whether an educational institute should allow their students to carry their own tablets, whether they should be allowed to, during the classes to search YouTube, to have Twitters, and to use Web 2.0 technologies. So all this are, along with the wireless and mobility, institutes also need to consider their policy decisions. IT consolidation, desktop virtualization, and cloud-based infrastructure, very interesting to technology trends. A decade back, many of the education institutes in India invested heavily on computing infrastructure. So they bought all the fancy servers, all the fancy, hardware, and now they are finding that those machines are of no use to them because those machines have limited RAMs, their hard disks are choked, they have limited bandwidth. So what to do with those machines, with that existing legacy infrastructure? So what could be done is, you consolidate your existing computing infrastructure through desktop virtualization. So machines which are already there with you could act as a dumb terminal, they could act as a thin client, and you can have a centralized data center where you can run all your applications. So that could be in a data center, or it could also be on the cloud. So all the applications are running on cloud or in your centralized data centers, and you are using your existing infrastructure at the user end. Then technology-based learning, interacting whiteboards, again very interesting. Interacting whiteboard is nothing but a smart board in which you bring all your digital content on the board. And so when you bring a digital content on the board, there is no need to write. You can zoom in, zoom out on any specific things. You can do 3D modelings for higher studies. So there are multiple possibilities. So this is one of the biggest trend which is catching up in education sector worldwide. Multi-jurisdictional collaboration, again a very interesting and often neglected trend. Multi-jurisdictional collaboration is, suppose educational institutes, suppose a school like Shri Ram wants to interact, say a school in Vidya Mandir in Selampur. How do you do that? I mean, a Shri Ram school interacting with and sharing content with a local municipality school. So that is the multi-jurisdictional collaboration. Digital content, how to use the digital content, huge digital content, how you are doing research in universities and colleges, how to save them, how to store them, and how to dissipate them. Physical security and notification services, cyber security, energy management, and collaboration among students, faculty. I'm going to briefly talk about these once I walk through the presentation. Now what IBM has done, IBM has created a complete infrastructure framework for education sector. So what we do is we can provide smart classrooms, we can provide campus network and wireless. Smart classrooms, obviously, telepresence or e-learning kind of initiatives. Campus network, right from the physical networking, from wired and wireless network to, building up the entire network. Surveillance and signage. So surveillance and signage is also very critical and often, mistaken. Surveillance is not restricted to putting up CCTV in your campuses. So surveillance is when you build analytics around it, when you integrate it with your building management system. So you cannot have, people sitting all the whiles and observing the, in the control room and observing the monitor. So what needs to be done is to build analytics around it and integrate with your building management system. So you could integrate it with your access control system. So suppose there are certain labs which is restricted to the usage of those labs is restricted to certain kind of students. So any student who walks into the lab, he has to swipe a card and he could be denied access, and simultaneously an alert goes to the administrator that this student has tried to access this lab. So such kind of integration is possible and is need of the hour. Then cloud labs and BYOD are talked about cloud. It's the same thing. You can have your labs, virtual labs as well on the cloud. BYOD, bring your own device. A lot has been talked about it. Then e-library and e-books. So there are various companies which in India as well, which offer e-library and e-books services to colleges and schools. Now, how to gain access to them, how to download, how to ensure that your network doesn't choke, that could be done. And obviously, as your technology adoption increases, you would want somebody to manage that for you, right? So you would not want to invest too much in setting up IT department and hiring multiple people. So IBM can manage the services for you. Then certain use cases of the technology trends and the framework which I talked about. I will briefly run through the use cases. So one is the transformation of the classrooms. So you have a legacy classroom. This is the legacy classroom which we all are aware. You transform the legacy classroom into a smart classroom. You do lectures through video conferencing, smart port synchronization with video conferencing, physical lectures getting recorded and streamed online to students or to faculty worldwide. And the interesting thing about smart classroom, it could be an open air architecture. You need not restrict yourself to a classroom. So you can have you can have a smart classroom in an open air auditorium. You can have it in a cafeteria. You can have a so it does not restrict you to a classroom. Then providing lecture capture capability. So it looks simple, but it's not that simple because there is a lot of underlying network infrastructure which gets inside in building in providing lecture capture capability. So you capture the lecture and then you transform and convert into a meaningful data, and then you share it. So you share it with various multiple people spread across the geographies. One person may be holding a tablet, other person may be watching it on his television, other person may be on his laptop. So all these devices need to read the data. It needs to be converted into understandable format. So that is one of the use cases. Then digital media signage boards. Another very interesting trend and catching up increasingly is digital signage boards replaces your traditional notice boards. So instead of the notice boards, you will have a signage boards, which you can do a logical partition on the signage boards. So on the left side can have a branding promotional activities, which can also act as a revenue generating stream for the school or colleges. And on the right side could be a content which could be controlled remotely. So it could be any notification, it could be online streaming of any lecture, it could be broadcast of any speech, or it could be online content or online economic news and multiple things. So and this is the way, this is the future where most of the universities and colleges will be adopting a digital signage system rather than a traditional notice boards. Then IP surveillance and safety solutions. This is what I talked about. Giving an example of integrating it with its BMS. Then smart business desktop cloud solution. And this we have, reference sites in India as well, where we have successfully utilized the existing infrastructure of a college in South and, brought their entire applications into cloud. So how it helps, to students, there is a consistent security-rich access to educational applications. To instructor, replace the thick clients with lower cost and thin clients, administrator, IT staff. So it has its multiple benefits. Coming to the managed services support, so management services is, there could be outsource of one particular function, it could be vendor management, it could be only IT related outsourcing, or it could be a complete end-to-end outsourcing. Then one of the reference sites, one of the largest business schools in India, where IBM has implemented a complete network infrastructure, right from the physical layer, wired and wireless infrastructure, to the extent of managing their entire IT needs. So we have set up a help desk there in the campus itself, and their complete IT is outsourced in both their campuses in Hyderabad and in Mohali. Then we have similar example in one of the engineering colleges at Andhra Pradesh, where we provide smart and virtual lab setup and IP telephony and telepresence, which is basically for VC and collaboration between all the colleges spread in Andhra and also with their affiliate college outside India. Then we have one very interesting example is JPR Institute in Bangalore, where we have transformed their entire legacy system and moved their entire applications into cloud-based network. And currently, 240 users were, terminals were, transferred into a dumb terminals into thin client architecture, and additional 110 are in various stages of transformation. So that's about what IBM can do and the technology trends. Any specific questions, I would be happy to take it after the session.